close game, competitive game. Both teams had a chance to win it. Ultimately would be the Chiefs. You would look forward to that. But everybody, obviously coming out of that has to have their think pieces on what was what we saw. And one of the takeaways for me, Rob Parker, was Patrick Mahomes has already done so much in 7 years. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And the conversation starts to become like, well, who is he? We had one on Friday. Who are his rivals? Who can we compare? Is this game, is Josh Allen have to win to be considered a rival of his? And at this point, Patrick Mahomes is Kevin McAllister home alone. And I'll explain what I mean. Kevin McAllister had this big old huge nice house to himself, roomy, beautiful little mini mansion, all to himself. And you know who was trying to get in? Harry and Marv were trying to break in. And that is Lamar and Josh. They're trying to break in. They're trying to get in the room. They're trying to have a piece of that McAllister mansion. And you know what Patrick Mahomes keeps doing? Defending his house, which is reigning on top. Defending his home, which is being the Super Bowl champ. And he keeps kicking out the guys that we keep saying, these are his rivals. These are his peer groups. And he keeps saying, no, they're not. They're not his peer groups. They can't. Josh Allen, yeah, you're 4-1 in the regular season. But guess when it matters most? You're 0-3, and he knows it. Lamar Jackson, 0-4 now. Lamar Jackson, you ain't even get to your boy. You lost to Josh Allen, who loses to me regularly. And he gets to these games. He wins these games. He makes key plays, has a chance to win 3 Super Bowls in a row now. And it just starts to become, again, like Kevin McAllister, whatever you guys are doing. You try to break in through the door, nah, you can't get in. You try to come through the window, get out. Try to come through the basement, can't get in. And that's Josh, and that's Lamar, the two guys we keep trying to put in his realm, and he just keeps not letting them in. And it's just been remarkable to see because they're so talented. Lamar's probably going to win his 3rd, or if not, that means Josh won his 1st MVP, and he just somehow sits at the top of the throne. And this season, as you've continuously mentioned, and I've even said this, what he knows, he said it. It's one a great year for him. Solid year, good year for most players, but not for him. And yet he got it done when it mattered most. He outran Josh Allen. He outplayed Josh Allen by far. And now here he is going to another Super Bowl, his annual destination. And I just think it's remarkable that two guys who are this great, and Lamar and Josh, could mess around and not get one on his watch. And that's why people say he's Jordan. It ain't just the spectacular plays like Jordan.
I think that's so extreme. And I think when you look at his career, many more years he has, I just think it's a prisoner of the moment.
Let me tell you why, and I'll let you finish real quick. My only point is, you're right, because now we saw the duration of Jordan. My only point is, one of the things that Jordan is also known for is who didn't win on his watch. And that was John Stockton, Malone. Gary Payton ultimately won, but not on Jordan's watch. Reggie Miller didn't win on his watch. Patrick Ewing didn't win, all because Charles Barkley, one of the all-time greats. These guys did not win on Mike's watch. And if Mike don't leave, Hakeem might not have got a couple. So I'm not saying he has the duration of Mike's full career. I'm watching two of the great quarterbacks not be able to do anything currently on his clock. That's why I'm saying it.
But when you mention Michael Jordan, he didn't win his first 6 years. So both of those guys are underneath that threshold. So that even that doesn't stand water because Mike didn't win right away. It took Mike 6 years, right, before he was able to win.
Right, but we're saying Pat is in the Mike mode right now, not those two.
No, but here's the other part. Even with all the winning Tom Brady did, Tom Brady went nine years without winning another Super Bowl. So there could be a mix starting with the loss in the Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes where he might go, okay? And that's what I talk about with his career because it's front-loaded. It is. I mean, without a doubt. It's front-loaded, and it's not a knock. It is just front-loaded. Now, will you look at him differently? And we talked about this. If, say, he loses, he doesn't get the three-peat. This is all hypotheticals. That's what we're talking about. He loses the Super Bowl and then doesn't win the next 7 or 8 years. Andy Reid retires. The team goes through somewhat, and they don't win. Or they get there, or maybe they just don't win.
Right.
I'm not saying they fall off the map.
I get what you're saying.
But they just don't win. And now you're looking up, and he's played 15 years, and he hasn't won. 3 rings. And he hasn't won in 8 years. Okay? Mm-hmm. And it just depends because I can look at John Elway, who was looked at one way, and then he wins his last 2 years, And the way people look at John Elway totally flipped because he went out on a winning note. So if you're Lamar, you didn't win in first few years, whatever, okay, and now you win that third MVP, and you win another one, and now you win 2 Super Bowls. Now you start to look and go, okay, Patrick won 3 Super Bowls and has how many MVPs, Rob G? 2?
2.
Lamar is 2-0 in the Super Bowl and has 4 MVPs. Then you start to look differently depending on how the finish is. The start is great. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But it's too early to really be able to say.
I agree, but the only issue is
because I'm just saying there was a stretch. But nobody would tell you about the Brady. Nobody remembers those 9 years. 9 years.
But the thing is, we're no way near that for Patrick Mahomes. Meaning, all we've had is this 7-year run of ridiculousness.
No. We're getting closer.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's insane what he's been able to do. Where he literally the only thing he knows is getting to an AFC Championship game. That's the minimum.
But if he loses, that could be the start of what we're talking about, and that's what I'm trying to say, is that just as easily as he's won these, and I mean it, easily. you could have a drought, a part of your career, and it doesn't mean that you're not good or your team or all the things that have gone your way, things don't happen, and now all of a sudden you're on the back end, and 6, 7, 8 years. Nobody could have told me that when Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl in 2010 that he wouldn't get back.
I hear you.
Nobody.
But no, that's a real thing.
Nobody.
Right. He's too talented.
And I could give you other players. Dan Marino in Miami when they went to the Super Bowl, nobody would have sat there and told you.
He would never go back.
He would never go back. That was his second year in the league. He was young. Don Shula was his coach. How in the world did he not get back to another Super Bowl? It didn't happen.
But here's the thing. So everything you said is great if I'm playing Miss Cleo and I'm coming back and, saying, hey, here's what's going to happen in the future. All I'm saying is, literally right now, Patrick Mahomes has done an insane – listen, dude, 3 championships going for 4, possibly 3 in a row, 6 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pros, 2 MVPs, 1 Offensive Player of the Year, 3 Super Bowl MVPs. That's insane. That run is insane. And again, it's the guys he's keeping out. Lamar Jackson has had an insane career. He is 24-2 against the NFC. Like, he has stats, possibly 3 MVPs, that are like he can't get to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen has been ridiculous his career. But I told Rob G is going to start to look like.
But I covered Michael Jordan during that. It was the same thing. People were like, oh, Jordan is a great individual player. He doesn't make anybody better. He can't win. I'm trying to tell you, I saw this firsthand.
But all I'm saying, Rob, what you're doing is Michael Jordan circa, say, 1989, right? 88, 80. Like, well, no, I get it, but he's not making better. What I'm saying is I'm watching Magic and saying, I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Where I'm saying, you might be right about what might happen in Josh Allen turning around. But I'm saying, for what I've seen right now, it's ridiculous.
I'm just saying the story isn't written all the way, and that's what and then that's the point that I bring up John Elway and other people, because there were people who I'm sure when John Elway was blown out in his first 3 Super Bowls thought John Elway
he can't win the big one.
He can't win the big one. He'll never win.
But why do you want me to go? Why do you want me looking at his crystal ball right now and go too far? Why can't I look at what I just have been seeing?
All I'm saying is, I don't think the story's written yet, and it could start on the Super Bowl.
You're right about that.
Super Bowl Sunday if he loses that one.
Dang it, Rob, can we get there? We ain't even in New Orleans yet.
I told you the Lions were going to lose, and I'm going to tell you that the Chiefs are going to. It's going to be better for them to lose.
See, Derek Rob G, he just took me through a 7-minute walk just to get to that part right there. All I want to talk about is what the heck we have seen. We got 2 weeks to go up to this. You already made the man lose and already told me he going to go on a 9-year drought.
It'll be better if they lose.
Go on a 9-year drought. I'm trying to tell you what he's done in less than 9 years. You telling me about the future 9 years. Patrick Mahomes is Kevin McAllister keeping out Harry and Marv. They didn't keep coming back. How many Home Alones were like 4 of them? They keep trying to get another kid. Go get a new Macaulay Culkin right now. That's what they had to do, and he won't let them in. Lamar and Josh, good luck. You'll get in eventually, but dang it, they can't even win right now. He's got it on lock, protecting the McAllister home, and it's just been remarkable what Andy Reid, this run. I mean, I don't know if there's another team that no matter what, you feel like if they're down 6 with the ball, they're going to win. Tie game, you're going to win. Like, that's just where they have gotten. He and Andy Reid and the rest of that team, that's where the place they've gotten to.